What's going on, y'all? My name's Rob. Welcome back to the Kentucky Chew. Alright folks, welcome back. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and I apologize for the little bit of delay in getting this next video out. You know, life happens. Been traveling a little bit, been busy with work, got a family, so just certain things you gotta put in front of a little hobby like this. So for those of you that have been tuning along to this series, I do appreciate that. Again, sorry, but we'll go ahead and dive in. Alright, so we're down to our last four products, and just a little recap here. We started with 16 different whiskeys. I called this the Budget Bourbon Brawl, March Madness style, similar to the NCAA tournament that's going on right now. Put them in their different pairings, and we just dwindled our way down to these four. There's been a lot of surprises. If you remember, if you paid attention in the first few videos, out of the 16 products, I'd only tried 4 of them. There was only 4, and it was pretty Buffalo Trace heavy. It was the Weller Special Reserve, which has made it to our final 4, Elijah Craig Small Batch, Buffalo Trace, and the Green River Wheated, which was a new product to me this year, but I had technically tasted it before doing this Budget Bourbon Brawl. So I definitely discovered some bottles that I will routinely pick up, things that I'll want to share with friends who come over to sample and taste and just compare. And then just everyday drinkers, right? That's what we were looking for here. These obviously maybe won't match up well with our $100+ bottles or those once a year releases or the highly sought after products, but that's not what this was about. This was about finding what are some bottles that in most of our areas we can find. I know not all of these are available to everyone. Even here in Kentucky, some of these are hard to get, but I think we have a little bit easier time finding some of them, even if we do have to pay secondary. But overall, the goal was here just to find stuff that we can all maybe get our hands on and try, things that we have been overlooking ourselves. If you're new to this or you've been collecting for years, I recommend almost all of the bottles that we did taste during this series. So, mixing it up a little bit for the last, technically I was going to do 2 more videos. Our last pairings came down to this. We had the Weller Special Reserve going up against the Benchmark Single Barrel. That would have been a pretty good blind. Probably would be pretty tough comparing those two. And then we had the Old Forester and the Old Bardstown. Both a sweeter profile compared to these other two in my opinion. These probably will have sweeter noses. These have had sweeter tasting profiles, like the banana and like creme brulee with I was getting with the Old Bardstown bottled and bond. I decided to make this a little harder on myself. So we're going to do a blind of all 4. So we're going to combine the last 2, put them all in together. 4 whiskeys. These are what we got. I'm going to be comparing, going against each other, and I'm just going to rank 1 through 4. 1's going to be the winner of this, and then we'll have runner-up, and then 3 and 4. So let's dive in. Alright folks, so same routine as last time. I'm going to work from my left to right. Again, we've got the Old Bardstown bottled and bond. Side note with this one, I thought it was readily available pretty much nationwide. I have come to learn the bottled and bond version of Old Bardstown is only available in Kentucky. So if you live in Kentucky or you're close to Kentucky, regardless of how this turns out in this video, go get your hands on that one. I highly, highly recommend this bottle. I've not had the regular Old Bardstown, but the bottle and bond will be a one that I purchase again. We got the Old Forester 100, so also a 100 proof product, but it's not a bottled and bond product. Fantastic, really good. I really haven't had anything from Old Forester though that I dislike. This is much cheaper than the other Old Forester products I typically do buy. So this will also be one that I'll be going to. The Benchmark Single Barrel, very good also. Was very surprised by this one. Did not think it would make it this far. That's going to be hit or miss though. It is a single barrel. There can be some variation between them. People have commented they've had ones they liked, they had ones they didn't really care for. So move forward with caution. But again, all of these are $30 and less, except for the Weller Special Reserve. It is a $26 to $30 bottle. if you get it at retail. Secondary in my area, you're going to see this closer to $40 to $50. So if you haven't had it, I would recommend, I would pay that just to give it a try for the first time, just get my hands on it, see if I like it, and you know, to each their own. So enough talking. I know I can ramble. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. Happy chewing. It's been a long time, I tell you. Long time since I've sat down here and enjoyed some of my whiskey, so. That's a very pleasant whiskey smell. Very light, floral, fruit forward nose. Not overpowering. Just really, really delightful, nice nose. And the taste matches the nose on this first glass. Had a very sweet fruit forward taste with it. It mellowed out just slightly. Wasn't getting anything as far as like oak or really big, bold, charred type flavor with it. Really more of like a sweet fruit, floral, maybe like a hint of cherry. But overall good. A good standard pour of whiskey in that first glass. I want to double check something real quick. Yeah. Okay. So as far as proof goes, for those who don't know, the Weller is 90 proof. I was double checking the benchmark single barrel. It's 95. Again, the Old Forester 100 is obviously 100, and then the Old Bardstown Bottled Bond is obviously also 100 proof. So not too much variation. These should be pretty close. We'll move on to the second glass, see what we get differently here. Nose-wise, this one smells richer, like more full. Just a stronger nose, but not overpowering, just like a more full scent. Yeah, just sweet. Just getting an overly sweet nose with this one. Not picking up vanilla yet, not picking up any like oak or anything. Not really much caramel, just sweet. Get a little sip in. What stood out to this with this second glass, I feel like they had a very strong cherry finish. Okay, little bit of warm vanilla on the first sip. It lingered just slightly, held on there for a little while. Pretty well balanced pour also compared to the first one. I think it's just a little bit fuller. I'm just getting more out of it compared to the first glass. Go ahead and move on to glass number 3. Oh man, a very, very rich nose. Like a sweet dessert, like a pudding. All right, so glass number 3 is a very delightful dessert pudding type nose. The taste of it is like this warm vanilla richness with just well-rounded, has a good mouth feel with it. Just an overall good sip of whiskey. I love when something smells like a dessert sweetness like this, but then still has like the traditional whiskey flavors you look for. Like I like the oak, I like the vanilla, I like it to have just enough heat, right? Just enough heat to give it a little zing in there. So that's checking some boxes. I'm liking that one. Number 3 is right up my alley. Gonna move into number 4 here. Oh man, what a great nose. This smells to me like a vanilla marshmallow if it was toasted around a bonfire. And I just came up with that off the top of my head. I'm getting pretty good at these tasting notes. I know it sounds crazy, because I've watched videos too where the guys are going on about what they taste, and I'm like, there's no way. They don't put that in bourbon. They literally don't put that in there. But I'm starting to see. If you open yourself up more to try a lot of things, sip on it, actually enjoy it, take your time with it, the flavors can come to life. And man, this one's good. I mean, when we find out what's in each glass, what I'll say about glass number 4 here, before we, figure out and I rate them and all this. If you can't pick up notes, like if whiskey's just whiskey to you, I'm gonna point you in the right direction here soon. I just realized I've been talking about the notes and I haven't even gone in for a taste, so happy chewing. All right, glass number 4, I feel like I'm getting like a warm vanilla richness, a hint of leather, just a slight hint of leather in there. I don't know if I have too much to say. Just like I've enjoyed every single one of these glasses. They're all different. If you've got these 4 products, give them a pour, try this blind yourself. They're all very unique, and this is very good. These are just fantastic products. Bear with me, I'm gonna work my way back, figure out which one though I think is the best, go from there, do 1, 2, 3, 4. That's hard to do. when you love whiskey as much as I do. Glass number 3, going back. Oh man, almost like a pudding, a custard. Think of banana cream filled. Yep. Don't have to spend much time on that one. Glass number 2. I don't think it's going to take a long time for me. I have figured out for myself 1, 2, 3, 4 here. I'll explain. Let's go through them. Let's flip them over, find out what we've got. I think there's going to be some surprises. So, oddly enough, the way I have it laid out here is my favorite. So the last one I tasted is the first, second, third, fourth. So last place is over here on my left, and that's the route it went for me. It just, each glass got better, and I went back just to make sure, and I'm gonna stick with it. So I'm gonna start with last place here. So out of these 4, again, these 4 made it from the starting point of 16 whiskeys. So number 4 in this is Weller Special Reserve. There you have it, folks. There you have it. Allocated isn't always best. 4th place. Hey, 4 out of 16 still good. Obviously, Buffalo Trace is a staple of a distillery. I like Weller Special Reserve. I wish it didn't have the hype around it. I wish it was readily available, because it is what it is meant to be, a good, consistent whiskey. It getting 4th here does surprise me, but that's cool. I'm good with that, because the other ones are a little bit easier to get your hands on. So, Weller Special Reserve getting 4th place out of these 4 here. Moving on to the second glass, so 3rd place. Interesting, okay. Benchmark Single Barrel. Here's our 3rd place. 3rd out of these 4. Thinking back to tasting these, I said these tasted pretty similar, and that my second glass here, which is the Benchmark Single Barrel, just tasted fuller, just tasted like more of it. Now, that could be the proof. We are going 95 against 90 here. Both are out of Buffalo Trace, so hey, if you can't get your hands on Weller Special Reserve, pick you up a bottle of Benchmark Single Barrel. I would guess out of all 4 of these here, Old Forester 100 and Benchmark Single Barrel probably are the most readily available for all of the viewers here. If that's wrong, if your area you have not seen either one of these, give me a comment. Let me know where you're at, because that sucks. I don't know. We got to get this whiskey out there to you all. But those 2 should be pretty easily available. I kind of want to go back and forth on the Weller and Benchmark Single Barrel here, just to make sure I'm not crazy. I don't think I am. Very similar. I don't know if these are exactly the same mash bill, but very similar nose. Just the Benchmark Single Barrel just smells like fuller. It just has more of the flavors with it. That's nice. The longer you let these sit, they just get better. Yeah. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, that means our last 2 glasses, winner is going to be one of these. Old Forester 100, Old Bardstown. Look, if you've been paying attention, one of these bottles came out of the gate. It was hot. I don't get it. I'm so glad I tried it. I don't know. Just to me, my palate, this thing is lining up and it's good. I know based off the smell in here. So second place out of our whole entire budget bourbon brawl is Mr. Bananas over here, Old Forester 100. So, you know, what I was saying while I was doing the tasting, if you're someone like me, about a year ago, you're like, I really don't get all these notes. I just like what I like. I don't like what I like, but whiskey is whiskey. I get it. I'm with you. Go get you an Old Forester product, preferably this one, because it's probably gonna be it's the cheapest, one of the cheapest ones that they offer, and give it a try. Like, I thought there would be a significant difference in the flavor, just the all-around goodness of this compared to like the 1920, the 1910, and I don't think there is that much. I haven't compared it. I haven't put this up against the Old Forester 1910 or 1920. The proofs will be different, but based off just the nose and the way it drinks, man, all of these are $30 and less, folks. I mean, you can't beat that. Just a wonderful nose. It really is. Cheers, Old Forester. Thank you for what you do. And that means winner, winner, chicken dinner, Old Bardstown, bottled and bond, out of the Willett Distillery. There it is, folks. That's what she looks like. And this is awesome. This is great. I mean, I could have been buying this for 5 years. This is in my top, I don't know, top 20. Okay, so out of all the products I have here, and I've got quite a few different bottles, a lot of variations, a lot of differences in them. This thing's fantastic. There's something to be said about all the different variations of whiskey and bourbon these days, you know, aging it longer in other barrels. You got different finishes, finishing it in wine barrels, right? All these different things that are awesome. I like it. You know, Amarana finishes. Like RD1, if you're not familiar with that, look it up. Bourbon Junkies did a video on it, and they're good. I'm with everyone. I like it. You know, I like the different stuff, but there's just something to be said about a good traditional Kentucky whiskey, and I will stand by that. And that is what this is, by God. I mean, this thing, it's rich, it's warm, it's got a mouthfeel, it's got vanilla, it's got caramel. I've called it like a creme brulee. It just sweet, but not overly sweet. It's just good. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's so good. So there we have it, folks. I appreciate you all tuning along. This was a fun little series for us. Gave us some insight into just some of the regular everyday bottles that most of us can probably pick up and enjoy. So if you've not had any of these, go get your hands on them. The Elijah Craig small batch that was in this, go try that out. Wild Turkey 101, fantastic whiskey. Old Granddad 114. Early Times, I got to try Early Times for the first time. That's good. I mean, you could swap that out with one of these. I mean, these are all very close and just very good. So a lot of good takeaways here. Really, like I said, really enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning along. We're having a lot of fun here over on the Kentucky Chew. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Give us a comment. Let us know what you think. Like and subscribe. Give us a comment on what you'd like to see more of. If you like, you know, the bottles that you can find every day, or if you're on the fence on buying something, you want to know what I think, I'll be happy to go try it and give you my thoughts. But make sure you tune in each week. We're going to be doing a lot of reviews here consistently. I'm going to open bottles, let you know what I think about them, tell if you should go get your hands on them, and let's just enjoy whiskey. So cheers, y'all. Happy chewing.